Hello and welcome to the Motivated by Love podcast, a podcast designed to help Christian young adults navigate relationship anxiety and relationship OCD. I am your host, Chrisenia, and I'm so excited to talk to you today about creating more romance in your relationship. Now, this can be something that we really focus on, something that we get really scared we don't have enough of. Right? Like, oh my gosh, do I feel in love enough? Or is my partner romantic enough? It can be really easy to worry that we don't have enough romanticness or romance in our relationship. You also might notice yourself in a more romantic setting, like maybe you're on a romantic date or you're walking on the beach. You might notice that romantic moments can be triggers for your anxiety, where you start really checking your feelings, seeing if you feel enough, and if this is how you should be feeling. So today, that's what I want to speak to. And I want to offer you a new perspective on having enough romanticism or enough romance in your relationship. Now, a lot of the time when we get really triggered, like I said, it's because we're focusing on measuring the enoughness of either what we feel or what our partner is doing. And when we're in that state, it's really hard to feel in love or to feel romantic feelings. I really like to use the example of going to Disneyland. And if we expect ourselves to feel happy all the time because it's the happiest place on earth, and we get really obsessive about feeling just so happy all the time when we're at Disneyland, it actually ruins Disneyland because we're not able to brush things off. We're not able, right? Like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting in line forever and I feel frustrated and this is supposed to be the happiest place on earth. Or I can't believe that kid is whining. This is supposed to be the happiest that I feel. And always checking our feelings at Disneyland, it totally ruins Disneyland instead of just being at Disneyland and experiencing it. One of the things about Disneyland that makes it a happy place is that we are more in our bodies instead of in our brains. We are able to experience what it's like to be a human at Disneyland instead of worrying or really like obsessing or measuring our feelings all the time. For example, if you're on a ride at Disneyland, you're really focusing on all 5 of your senses. What do I see right now? What do I hear? Like, what noises are going on? What do I feel? Is the ride shaking? Is it smooth? Is it fast? Slow? What do I smell? Like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, it always has that very distinct smell, right? And then even when it comes to taste, like what does the food at Disneyland taste like? Like we're just so present in our bodies when we're at Disneyland. And that is often what leads to feeling more joy and more happiness. The crazy thing is that the more we chase a certain feeling, the more we push it away. I don't know if you've heard the quote, but it says something like, happiness is like a butterfly. The more you chase it, the more it's going to fly away. But if you sit still, it'll come and land on your shoulder. And this is the same for any emotion. Happiness, excitement, love. The more we worry we don't have it and the more we chase after it, the harder it is to just experience it and feel it as it comes in our lives. So, when it comes to wanting to feel more romance or more feelings of being in love with your partner, more feelings of love with your partner, what we want to do is learn how to drop into our senses. All 5 of them, instead of being in our head worrying that we don't feel enough. Now, this really makes me think of different books or movies. I've been awaiting a really long time for this book to come out, and as I've been reading it, it's so interesting just to recognize the way that the author describes all of the characters' senses. And you might notice that you feel more romantic feelings when you're reading a book or you're watching a movie. And maybe that makes you a little bit worried that you're in the wrong relationship. But the amazing thing is that the reason you feel so many romantic feelings when you're reading a book or watching a movie is because they're designed to help us be in touch with our five senses. So when I'm reading a book, I love a good fantasy book with some side romance, right? When that character is talking about her love interest, she's talking about being very present in her body. So let's say they hold hands. She doesn't just say, he held my hand. She says something like, his calloused skin brushed up against my fingertips and clasped my hand. Right? Like that is so much more present in our bodies than being in our brains and just saying, he held my hand. And so as I've been reading this book, it's so interesting because I've practiced narrating my own life more and being more present in my five senses. So I'll go outside and sometimes I'll narrate, like, she stepped outside and the warm sun kissed her skin, or the grass tickled her feet. And I've also started to narrate more moments when I'm with my husband. Instead of just saying, we watched a movie together, I've really tried to be present in the moment and describing exactly what's going on, like feeling his muscles underneath his shirt when my cheek is on his chest, or feeling his arm wrapped around me while we watch this movie. And it has been so amazing how instead of constantly being in my head trying to decide if I feel enough, like I used to do so much, it's been so beautiful to just experience what being a human feels like in a relationship, and that I actually have felt more love for my husband. The amazing thing is that when we start to live life more in our five senses, we actually feel more because we're recognizing all of the beauty around us and how amazing it is to be a human experiencing this life. We feel more love, we feel more joy, and we also might feel more sadness, and that's okay, that's part of it. And it's actually a beautiful part of being a human on this earth, just experiencing. So, my challenge for you this week is, instead of being stuck in your head worrying about if you feel enough, I want you to practice just feeling in order to experience this life. Drop into your five senses with the goal not being to measure how much you feel, but just to experience whatever is coming up. And I think you'll be surprised at what you find. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful week.